Hey guys, Kapper here and welcome back. Today's video is going to be a demonstration on why this new skid steer is going to be such a game changer for us. So I'm going to review some of the ways that I've done dirt work in the past with the excavator, with several different tractors, and with the dump truck. I think this is going to be one of them purchases just like the excavator was, like, why didn't I do this 5 years ago or more? Obviously, cost was a part of it, but I really think that this is going to be a huge game changer for some of the projects that we would like to accomplish looking forward. So comparing the ability to move dirt in such a quick fashion with this excavator, with the skid steer, it's going to have a full 1 yard bucket on it. And I'm going to show you some of the ways that it's going to make a difference. So let's just take a look at that. And if you look at the excavator can move a lot of dirt from right here to right here very fast. But the problem is, it can move it as far as it can swing, but after that, now it struggles to move dirt farther than that. So I have used the mini excavator to move dirt. And let's just take a look at how slow it is, with that dozer blade. And then we have the dump truck. The dump truck can move a pretty fair amount of dirt quickly, but it has to be under good conditions. You have to have really dry ground, and you can't move the dirt in any kind of narrow spaces. So if you look at, like, the pond dam, for example, our old pond dam, that whole thing needs to be built up at least a foot, and then the crown needs to be made wider. But I can barely get the dump truck in there, and I don't know if it's unsafe or not, but backing it up the pond dam on an angle like this, I don't really like doing that. So I believe that this BOBCAT, as fast as it moves, it'll run 10 miles an hour, granted in second gear, but it's very snappy. There ain't no doubt about that. And when you're moving 1 full square yard of fill at a time, that's a lot of dirt. So I learned about dirt moving. We've owned farms in many different states, and I've hired this stuff out for years and years. And this last farm right here, when we added the 1.5 acre pond, I'd have discussions with my buddy Morris. He's an excavator. I'm like, just make it bigger. You only got to move the dirt from here to there. It's only like 50 yards. I'm like, what's the big deal? And he promptly educated me on, well, it is a big deal moving dirt. Even what we think is a short distance, even from here to the door is 30 feet. But if the excavator can only swing 15 feet, now you got to move it another 15 feet. And it takes time. So looking at the dump truck, how we've moved dirt before, I've kind of struggled with the tight areas. I try to hug the kind of the pond edge because there's all kinds of branches and trees on this side. It's really close in here for a drone to be flying. And looking at the tractors, even now I've got the big tractor, the 78 horsepower Branson, but I still use the 4-in-1 bucket, which is a little bit smaller, and it's only 6 feet wide, but I added a dirt lip on that bucket so it can heap more than a normal tractor bucket. But I've gotten myself in trouble there, and it's very slow and very cumbersome. So the tractor bucket is 6 foot wide. Even if I would have got the Cat 259D, There again, that one was 69 inches wide, you know, and the bucket is usually the same as the track, so you got a 70-inch bucket. But now that I decided on the BOBCAT T650, it has an 80-inch bucket, so you have a full 10 more inches of width, plus that bucket has a lot more depth, so it's going to carry and move a lot more fill than even that, you know, the smaller cat would have done. So I'm very, very anxious to get the machine and put it to work. It wouldn't have really been possible except for this refinance. And I mean, I highly suggest if any of you guys own land and you have loans on them, you take a second look into the new mortgage rates, because it's getting more competitive and rates are at historic lows and they allow you more buying power. So just by refinancing our farm, I can pretty much buy the skid steer without doing anything else. So it's just a huge thing with rates being so low right now.
See, Joe don't even have another dirt pile started yet for me. He's moving too slow. Too slow. I bet Joe's a little on the nervous side. This GoPro in the skid loader. Wondering just what in the world I'm saying about it. But it's all in fun. You nervous?
Rock and roll, yeah, probably.
You ought to be.
Yeah, it's my understanding that Ryan took advantage of his open mic and tossed old Kapper under the bus. Not only did he say he tossed me under the bus, but he wore out the transmission going forward and reverse over top of me. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, but guess I can't complain too much with him ripping up this ground with his skid steer. So definitely stay tuned. It's going to be a fun adventure, and we have a lot of projects on the radar, which I'll get into here in the near future. So important for me just to get a feel for how much earth can be moved with the equipment I've got and how long it would take. Midday, about noon. In case I do some watering holes here and there for someone, or another duck impoundment. I mean, I guarantee you, if this thing works and I create excellent duck hunting on my own property, which is high ground, straight uphill. You know, I may get a couple people asking me to help them out to try and do one of their own. So it was very important for training purposes, no matter how you cut it. Boy, she's getting deep. If you like our content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next series of videos. So definitely stay tuned. Thanks a lot. So I'm standing outside what's going to be the deepest spot here. They probably got 4 or 5 feet built up, maybe 6. All right, the boss man left the dozer, went to the big cat.